Yeah, so welcome everybody. Hopefully you're here because you're interested in the social SDK and or Unity and both and or both. Today we're going to be building with Unity, with the social SDK in Unity. Yeah. So I'm Anthony. I'm a developer relations person at Discord. I have done a lot of stuff in Unity in the past, a lot of like indie games. And here I am doing a little bit of social SDK stuff for the last like month or so. And yeah, that's me. Mark, this is Mark.
Hi, I'm Mark. Some of you have seen me on some of these live streams before. I am easily distracted by dogs. That is the thing. And my dog is asleep on the floor, which is great. I am here to be the resident. I have no idea about Unity person. Or I have a slight idea, but my games background is backends for games. I don't know much about the engine side of things. I know some C++. Anyway, so I'm here to ask silly questions.
Some C++ is actually, you had that sample that you released that was really, really fantastic. All in C++ with the social SDK.
Yeah, but you have something that's closer to a real game, so you know.
Yeah, so part of today is we'll talk about the sample that we just put out. But yeah, a little brief. What is the Discord Social SDK? So it's a really cool SDK that helps power your like social features in your game, basically by bringing Discord's features into your game. So you can think about it as like chat, lobbies, invites, rich presence, messaging, sort of all of those things that you get through Discord, you can bring into your games through the SDK. And Unity, if y'all don't know about Unity, game engine, really popular, both with indies all the way up to AAA. My personal favorite, but yeah, we have like a Unity flavor of the social SDK, which we'll be using today. Here's a quick preview, sorry for the GIF compression, of what we'll be showing off. Basically, friends list, rich presence. We'll be doing some DMs. And yeah, so here's kind of what we're covering. So we released this, what do you call it, GitHub sample today that basically gives you a bunch of like prefabs, lets you easily build with the social SDK in Unity. So we're going to basically go through creating your social SDK application in the developer portal, get the sample itself, and then configure it in Unity. And then once we do the setup, which should be pretty quick, we're going to create with it. So we'll show you how to create or connect rich presence, the friends list. Those are prefabs that are already built up in the sample, how to easily connect those into your game. And then we'll modify the friends list UI a little bit to allow us to choose people to direct message and implement a little bit of direct messaging.
Sweet.
Yeah, so let's build. I think, let me see, if we can post the sample in the chat.
Well, I'll tell you what. Yeah, why don't I take care of that for you?
Cool. So
and you can focus on what you're doing.
Here's the sample. So basically, it's a little Unity project that is going to, well, it currently has nice prefabs for friends lists and rich presence built into it. You basically connect the social SDK to it, and you just get like a really nice drag and drop, easy to use, best practices in mind UI for the social SDK. Coming soon will be more things like friends management, lobbies, invites, direct messaging. We'll touch on direct messaging today. I'll show you how we can implement it, but we'll have like actual official prefabs for you to use in here at some point. And then
what's a prefab?
Yeah, so Unity has these things called prefabs. They are basically just building blocks of things. So it could be an object. It's basically an entity component system. So it's an object with code attached to it.
Okay.
It can have a bunch of nested things. You can create a prefab of a character. And the reason you would do this is it allows you to easily, like, let's say you create an enemy. If you want to like have multiple enemies in your scene, you would create a prefab of it, and you could spawn them using that prefab. So the prefab is just this object that exists in your like project sense. Yeah, it's just a collection of logical code and like objects, images, kind of whatever you need it to be.
So you can kind of
In
cookie
our
cutter
case,
it. You're like, I've got a thing, and then I want 14 of these things with maybe different parameters on it, so it looks a little different. Or like, cool, neat. All right.
exactly.
I'm here to
Actually,
ask the
that's a
stupid
great way
questions.
to. No, that's perfect. That's a really helpful like way to think about it too. Is if you have a prefab and you want to like change something on it, you can. You can also like go back and update the original prefab, or you can have just like variations of it. It's just like a pretty flexible way of like having a thing, an enemy, in our case, the friends list or a rich presence object, and then being able to modify it. Yeah, so the sample, you can do a couple things. It's a GitHub repo. You can clone it. You can download the zip file. And so I currently have it downloaded and set up. There's another thing you're going to need to do for setup. So in the Discord developer portal, you're going to need to go and create an application. The application itself, there's like a little form. I would click in and show you, but it will show you my application ID, and I don't want you to see that. But you basically sign up, say, I want to use the Discord social SDK. Immediately you get access. There's a little bit of hookup, so kind of the way that works is outlined in this quick start guide in the sample. But there's just a few settings you need to set. And then you're going to have your application ID that we're going to bring back, and I'll show you where to put that in the sample itself.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, and that's the same application ID as if you were writing a bot or pretty much any other integration that you would have with Discord.
Yep, exactly. So here's the sample. So let me show you. Basically, you download, open it up in Unity, and here we are. So I've got an example scene in here. So if you look over here in scenes, you can open the example. And this kind of shows you a little preview of what we saw earlier. You've got this like little scene where there's a friends list, a way to connect to Discord. So click that button. This is my testing account. We'll authorize the social SDK. We'll come back here, and you'll see this whole friends list gets populated. So
Sweet.
all the same friends that are here. Yeah, basically.
We can go home now. Great.
But yeah, let me show you also, I guess, how easy it is to like get to this point. So let's go basically to an empty scene. I've got that like.
Did you just delete everything you've done? You were like, I'm done. I don't need this anymore.
Basically.
Awesome.
We want to make it super easy. So yeah, just delete everything. There's prefabs for it though, so that'll be nice. So empty scene, main camera. We've got an event system that handles events, touch, clicking, keyboard input for the UI. And then this background. So there's nothing in here. So we can run kind of over how this thing works. So there's this Discord manager. Discord manager is the thing that handles all of the like OAuth and connection to Discord for you. So it's a little wrapper around the client. If you're familiar with the social SDK, there's a client that you like interact with the social SDK with.
Awesome.
Discord manager.
And just so we're clear, Discord manager is something you wrote for this sample. It's not part of the social SDK. Cool. Just want to make sure I got that right.
Yeah.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah. So yeah, that's part of it. That's also I think what we call it in our like getting started guides is for I think Unity and Unreal. We can hop into the code for that in a little bit, but just the basic overview is that it basically does that whole connection for you without a way to, well, on its own doesn't really do anything. So first off, we want to find a way to connect. So there's this connect to Discord button prefab that I just dragged into the scene, and you can kind of see it down here. And I believe I have it set up so the Discord manager itself is a singleton. So anything that cares about connecting to Discord or needing that client can access it through the singleton. One more thing. The Discord manager itself also requires a social SDK config. And the social SDK config is a scriptable object that is part of this sample. Basically, it just lets you put in the application ID. Basically, only did that because we don't want to like leak it. So I have it get ignored so that this file itself that has the application ID in it doesn't get, you can't add it to the repo. only reason it's there, you could easily just like get rid of this and just put your application ID into the actual Discord manager itself. But the way you create it is you just right click in the assets, go to config, Discord social SDK. I'm just going to create a test one. And you can see here, you would just paste in your application ID.
Not a real application ID.
Not a real application ID. I'm going to delete this one. Not useful. But the Discord manager requires it. So there's one already in here that has the application ID that I'm going to be using already set. We'll just connect that. So with that, we have the Discord manager itself and a connect button. And just putting those two in allows us to start the OAuth flow. And I guess nothing really happens because there's no objects that care about. But you can actually see all of the logging goes to the console.
Nice. And the button disappears, I noticed as well.
Yep. I have it set. So actually the way that works is the button itself has some code that is looking for when the client is ready. So once the client is authenticated, it sends out, it has like a, what do you call it?
State? Callback?
State, or is it a callback?
There you go.
Forgetting all my programming terms. It has a callback that tells you what the state is. And when you see it's ready, the button just kind of deletes itself because you don't need it anymore.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's worth noting if you haven't played with the Discord Social SDK, like can't really do anything with it until it hits a ready state. If you try and fire functions beforehand, things will go wrong.
Yeah.
So it's a good one to just be aware of when you're building stuff.
Although I have heard actually, and maybe you know more than I do, the rich presence itself does do something because
that is true.
It looks to see if the client, like the actual Discord client itself, is running locally.
Yes,
and
that is 100% true.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that one doesn't need authentication. You can actually update rich presence if the client is running on your machine.
It will go looking.
Speaking of rich presence, that's a good segue. So here is just another prefab for rich presence. We'll just drag it in. Basically like a starting starting state and the details. So rich presence, if you've seen it before, has it shows basically what you're doing in Discord, whether you're playing a game, what you're playing. You can show all sorts of information. This is basically just like a starting state for us to use. And I believe through like code in here, we've got it so that you can update that state easily. Once lobbies are implemented, you can do things like show off how many players are in your lobby. You can have invites. But to start, we have basically just your state. So all it took, let's test it and see. But basically all it took is me drag and dropping that in. So once I connect again, back here, we'll see we've connected and rich presence is updated.
So what does that mean?
So if we come back in here, we'll find out. You'll see on my profile, we're playing the Unity Social SDK. So the name of this is coming from the Discord developer portal. You set the actual application name in there. And then here's the status that I just put in there. So we could actually, if you wanted to, come in here, change this to, something else. And then the next time we run it, we would see that updated in here. It also has how long you've been playing for. We can hop in and look in that code actually really quick. So you can see these were the things that were serialized in the inspector. And we've got some like code in here to make it like kind of do a lot of error checking to make sure that things are set up correctly. But for the most part, this update rich presence is what's getting called. So there's the concept of an activity for rich presence. It's what you are. Actually, maybe you can tell me a little bit more about it, but I think it's just a game in this context, right? Like a thing that you're doing.
Thing that you're doing, exactly, 100%. Activities there's way more stuff you can do with activities. You sort of talked about it with as you go down the rabbit hole, but yeah, ultimately that's what you're doing. Oh, interesting. You set a timestamp. I don't think I've ever actually started one of those. I should do that. That looks like fun. That's the thing that sets the timer going. So like, hey, this is how long you've been doing the thing for.
Yep.
I don't actually do that.
And I've got it set to, I believe, when the game itself starts or when the sample starts. Actually, where do I set that start timestamp? When the client is ready, I basically grab the time, but you could do things like, if you start a lobby or you're like in a game, right? Like let's say you're playing like a MOBA of some sort, and you want to show how long you've been in that specific game. We could change the like the state and the details to be, in a game, maybe the status of the game. You could even show like the score or whatever, and then how long you've been playing that specific round for, not just how long you've been like in the overarching, like I'm in this MOBA, or even how long is left actually. Yeah, Colin's right there too. I believe there's a way to do the reverse of like countdown. So yeah, rich presence is super, nice. I think super useful for a lot of reasons, especially as a game developer. You can have like invites into your game. You get insight into it. People see that other people are playing. It just gives you this like nice social way to like see what other people are doing.
Now I have a Unity question here as well. So I noticed when you dropped rich presence in, there's no like UI component that dropped on screen. So to do a prefab, it doesn't actually have to have a UI component. It could just be pure code.
Could be, yeah.
Okay, cool.
So even like the Discord manager itself is just pure code.
Right.
Actually, this one's even more just code. This is actually no. These are both the same. It's every object has a transform. This is its position in the scene, and then here's just a script attached to it.
Got it.
So actually, if we look at the connect button, similar thing. It's got a canvas which wraps UI, and then the actual button itself, along with, I believe the script is right on here.
Got it. As this is like a standard Unity UI framework thing?
Yep, it's the one that's built in.
Oh, very nice. All right, cool.
Yeah, so everything I used in here was just built-in stuff. Didn't want to use external libraries to make it complicated. Like, you don't have to install anything else once you start it up and add the social SDK to it. Everything is native.
Perfect.
Cool. Let's take a look at the friends list now. So just like Rich Presence, basically drag and drop the prefab in, and you'll see UI is already there. Yeah, and I think that's actually all there is. If we look at the script.
Wow. Yeah, you're like here.
The prefab is like all connected, right? This one's a little bit more involved, as you can imagine. There's like scrolling views and different sections, and but drag and drop it in. The way this works is basically anything that cares about something else will check to see if it already exists. So in the future, when we have invites, when we do like lobbies and invites, if you have the rich presence prefab in the scene, it'll automatically put the like invite link into your rich presence if you want it.
Got it. But if you dropped in like the friends list, but you didn't have the Discord manager, things would just be like, I don't know how to do anything because it's not there. Yeah, so there are like nice warnings around all of those things, and then anything that can play well with other pieces, once you drop them into the scene, will do that. Very nice.
So we can see this in action. Cut back. Also, maybe one thing to note, you see me keep having to re-authenticate. We're at some point in the sample, I'll make it so that it actually stores your information. So you actually don't need to re-authenticate every time. That's something that if you store the token, you can, I think, you reuse that or like refresh it if needed.
Refresh it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Refresh tokens are good for 7 days. So as long as you log in more than before that 7-day period, you're usually pretty good.
Yep. Yeah, that's something I actually hope to have sooner than later in this sample.
Encrypt your tokens. Encrypt your tokens.
Yeah, exactly. That too. So here's the friends list. So you saw we just like drag and dropped it in. We've got these little collapsible sections. Nobody's in game technically because the only person that has this right now is me.
Is you?
I believe it checks off of the activity ID.
Yeah.
Or not the application
Application ID. Yes.
Yep. So if you were to build this, give it to a friend, both kind of run it side by side, you'd actually be able to see each other in that game.
Nice. I was going to say, should I could. I think you're friends with one of my test accounts.
I believe, yeah.
Too many windows.
Made a bunch of test accounts for this, so I wanted to show up at least this little scrolling.
Let's see if I can take one of them. Let's see if I can take one of them online.
Oh yeah, it's actually good. I mean, you'll see.
It should show up. Let's see if I got one of them. Opening yet another Discord tab. Yeah. Probably something to also note, which I think is kind of cool. I don't know if you're going to get into this. I might be jumping the gun here. Is around the sorting of online options.
Oh yeah, that is something that we should get into. So we actually, with the Social SDK, I think version 1.4 released new. So previously, you would call this function called getRelationships, which would give you all of your friends list. Actually, I think it's every relationship. So people that you blocked, friends, all of that. We released our best practices say that you want to sort people into in-game, online, and offline. And so we released functions that give you specifically, it gives you the ability to get those groups of people already sorted for you. That actually leads a little bit into the architecture of the friends list here. So Unity is interesting in that there's not really like a data binding. So there's no data binding between the UI and, say, an object itself. So when you call getRelationships or you get those people, the user handles themselves or the relationship handles actually auto-update. So whether they come online, offline, change their profile name, all those things, I believe you get sort of callbacks for, there are callbacks on the client that you get, but not on the handle itself. And so one of the tricky things with keeping this list sorted, especially in Unity where it's not constantly polling to see, when people change to being online, offline, changing their status, there were two options, right? Like from the UI itself, you can pull the relationship handle, which is not ideal, right? Like let's say you have 1,000 friends or 1,000 relationships. You don't want to be constantly polling each of those for updates. Even though they do update, Unity doesn't get that information up. The other way is the client itself actually gets callbacks when anybody's information changes in your relationships list. So the way that this thing is actually built is, actually one more thing too, is we don't in Unity want to be, because you get that callback, we don't want to delete all of these UI objects and recreate it. Creating and deleting would probably be okay up to a certain threshold, but that's one thing in Unity that is you don't want to create a bunch of garbage collection. You might get stutters and stuff here and there if you do that. So basically the way that it's implemented right now in here is we use those functions to get assorted lists. Initially, we put everybody in the proper sections, and then we create a dictionary of everyone's ID to the UI object itself in Unity. Then on the client, when we get one of those callbacks that says somebody's information changed, they're online, they're offline, or whatever, we actually recall those sorted lists, and then we have the sections with everybody sorted in them. And then we basically just go through and, because we've got that dictionary, we've got fast access, we just move the UI elements around for each of the friends. So a little complicated, but it gets around us having to constantly poll for each of these entries of each of these people. It helps us so we don't have to constantly poll and the other thing too is if you do that, you would have to figure out where, when someone's status changes, where they would go and where to sort within those sections. So it kind of solves a lot of issues for us. But yeah, it's built a very classic programming problem. Had to use a dictionary, had to do some sorting. Actually, sorting handled for you. I had to use a
Sorting is
dictionary.
handled for you.
Yeah. Cool.
Do you want to? Are do you want to show some of those functions and what that code looks like?
Yeah, totally. So let's see. So
I'm
the
also very curious.
the friend UI itself. So this is the uh, straight up just one of these entries, right? It's a friend. It's got a profile picture. It's kind of just like a dummy object, right? This is like the script that handles the UI. When you give it a relationship handle, it sets all the proper information. So that's actually a prefab in here. That's one that we're not going to drag and drop into the scene because it gets automatically created for you.
Oh, so if like friends list is doing the copy pasting of the friends UI prefab as a prefab itself. Prefabs all the way down? Is that what I'm hearing?
That's, yeah, the more you use Unity, it's prefab, scriptable objects, but prefab's basically all the way down. We can actually open it. I can show you really quick too. So basically just kind of a dummy object. You've got the name, status, profile picture. And we'll actually modify that in a little bit to do some direct message stuff. But yeah, so this is the code that handles that. You give it a relationship handle. It goes through and populates all that information. All of that comes from the friends list itself. So the friends list needs the clients, and it needs to know, I'm using both of these actually. Do you remember what's the difference between status changed and relationships updated?
I'm going to assume the status changed is the client itself. So like Windows.
Oh, that's right. Sorry.
Yeah. Discord relationships updated would be like you need to go refresh our UI.
I was just making sure. I know there's two different callbacks for the relationships. So there's relationships updated and another one. I confused the status change. Yes. Status change is for the client itself to know when the client is ready. Cool. So when the client's ready, we load the friends list, the full friends list. We sort it for the first time. And then we, yeah, basically everything I said, where we get all the relationships, put them in the proper sections. They should already be sorted. And the way that when a relationship is updated, like I was talking about, when we want to like resort and put people in the right places, the way that works is, sorry, I wrote this like a month ago now.
There should be a get relationships by group. Or did you show that already? Did I miss it?
Let's see. So there is relationships updated. Oh, that's right. So you specifically get the user that changed, right?
So depending on how you want to do it, because if you're getting the update on the user and showing that, then you can. There's a UI for that. But if you're doing where is it? Where's the callback here, which is the get relationship group update callback, then that's basically saying someone in any of the friends list has changed something, so you probably should refresh this friends list because we're pre-sorting for you.
Yeah.
Which I think is what
the way that I have it. Yeah, I think so. The way I have it set up is you get the user ID of the relationship that updated. So the user, if they exist, we update their UI. And so that's that friend UI prefab I was talking about.
Okay.
So that means their status changed, their profile changed, something about it changed. So we just need to update specifically their UI. If they don't exist for some reason, we create a UI for them. And then we go back and we sort the friends list. We update friends in their sections. I believe sort friends list just, yeah. So this is where you were talking about, where you get the
relationship by group. Got it.
So here's kind of what I was saying with like the way Unity works. I end up unparenting all of those prefabs so that they're no longer in their sections. And then we get the relationships by group. And then because we have them in a dictionary, you can easily say, give me this object, put it in the right list. Because it's sorted, they just all, and it's just like a scrollable UI thing. It just kind of like nicely works. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, let me see. One more thing to note too before we start diving into DMs. You'll see we use text in a lot of places. So people's profiles actually can have emoji, they can have all sorts of different characters. One thing that we put out recently is a guide on how to basically what you want to do to like handle not having those little block characters, right? When your font doesn't have the characters that people use in their profiles. So
That's fun.
one thing, yeah, we've in basically that's implemented for you already in here.
Nice.
Google has some really nice fonts called Noto, which I think stands for no tofu, which is that little block of like, I don't know what character this is.
Yep.
And there's a handful of them that are like that have all of those different characters. I think these four cover everything though. So basically,
I'm pretty sure those are the fonts I use on my Linux system.
Yeah, it's great, honestly. But basically, we've got the four fonts. There's two symbols, one for emoji, and then one just for their actual like font itself. Unity, you need to create these like font objects for. They have this thing called Text Mesh Pro that sort of handles text for you. And all I did was create the font assets for them, and then for the main font itself, there's this like fallback section. So you drag the other ones into it, and if for some reason it can't find a symbol in the main font, it'll look in the subfonts. And then we use this font everywhere, and that's kind of it. So it's already implemented and good to go for you. Cool. Let's build DMs. All right. So let's take a look again at what we've got. We've got our friends list. We've got our rich presence. So somehow we want to be able to click on somebody, right? And then open a chat with them.
Sounds good.
And then we want to be able to send messages to them and receive messages back. So how do we do that? One thing that we've got here is this like on hover. So it might be cool to add a little like button to click that is, bring up DMs. So I think actually Discord has those with like a little chat bubble. And I believe I've got that already in here. So let's do that. Let's look again at the friend UI prefab. Basically, we want to add a button in here that lets us open up a DM. So let's add a button. And we don't want text on it. The image itself is going to be this little chat blob.
Oh, you already got it set up.
And we want it to be, I'm going to anchor it to the right side of the, so this looks stretched out here just because it's in like UI, like prefab editing mode. So it's given the full screen, but I basically have the friend UI section set to like take over the length of the thing it's in. So once it actually gets into the friend list, it'll like properly scale.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. I believe you.
Let's offset this back a little and let's create a script for it. So we want, when you click the button, for it to do something. So we'll create a script that is open DM. And what do we need to know? So let's see. If we're going to open a DM and we want to be able to send information, I think I'm going to make the DM itself a separate object or separate part of the UI. So I want to send it all the information when I click that button. I don't want to like link up anything crazy. Basically, all we need to send is that relationship handle. So
like a DM prefab? Is that kind of what you're doing? Or no? I'm misunderstanding.
So this part is going to be. Oh, you mean like the actual like window itself to do the DMing in?
I guess.
So that eventually will be a prefab, I think, for the but in this case, it's just going to be like a little section in the UI that we're going to notify that, hey, we want to DM this user.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
I was cheating.
So right now, the friend UI, I think this is that dummy script that kind of handles the UI for the friend. This has all of the information, including the relationship handle for each person in your friends list. So we'll want to reference to that. So I'm going to do some stuff in here that is going to be a little like, not like super best Unity practices. I'm just going to make some like public fields. I'm going to do some stuff,
Okay.
but just to get it working.
Cool.
So the friend UI. So we need a reference to the friend UI. And I believe the friend UI should have a way, maybe it doesn't. The relationship handle is private. We want to be able to get the relationship handle. So I'm just going to create a little public get relationship handle.
Yes.
There we go. Open DM. So we want to create a public function on here that is open direct message. And we want to tell something that we are starting a direct message with the person that we're clicking on.
Cool.
So let's see here. For now, we'll just print it out. Print name direct message. Wow. AI is very good at some of these things.
Sometimes.
So we're going to get the relationship handle, get the user, get their display name. Eventually, we're going to link this up to something that is going to do the friends list for us, or the direct messaging for us.
Got it. Are we gonna do like a little text interface where you can input stuff, or are you just gonna like send a message? For now, we'll hard code or something just to see that it works.
We'll add a little interface, actually, I think.
Sweet.
Yeah. And then let's see. You're going to want to, I think this is it, actually. So back here, we've got we'll call the DM button. We're going to add the
Open DM.
What do I call that? Open DM, thank you. On here. And so within this prefab, we're going to give it a reference to the friend UI itself. So that's where we've got the relationship handle. Let's see, I think that's it. So now, when we run this, let's connect. Come back here.
Lovely.
So you'll see
a little button.
Little button. And if I open the console, if I click this, that's where I was missing something. So two things. One, there's an on-click handle in here. Usually I like to do this through the code, just so that you in the code can see the references, but we're gonna add the reference in here.
Got it.
Basically, where is it? Open DM, open direct message. So through the inspector, we've set when we press this button in the UI, it's going to open a direct message. It's going to run the code open direct message, and that's going to run this code here.
Nice. Makes sense.
One other thing that I want to do actually is I saw that there were all those little DM buttons. I kind of want to make it just nice so that when you hover over their profile, you actually see the button instead of just always being there.
Nice.
So I'm going to add this script to the base game object. And all this thing does is when you hover over, so you can see we've got the whole base game object here. When it's detected that your mouse is over it, it's going to activate that game object for the DM button. So let me turn this off right now. Sorry, I don't think I explained that well. Basically, on hover, it's going to show that UI.
So what I'm hearing is that button is going to be off by default going forward, whatever that checkbox is, so you won't see it. But when you hover over it, it turns it on.
Yep. And actually, there you can see it in action.
There we go.
So now if I look at the console and I click on somebody, Malo, opening direct message with Malo.
Beautiful.
Opening direct message with Let's Play. Cool.
Part of me really wants the mouse to change when you mouse over, but like, I'm not going to ruin your flow.
I've had to do that. There was some like web interface I made in the past where I had to do that, and it was actually quite annoying just to like get the states right. But it does look really nice when you do that.
When you do that.
But yeah, I'm not going to do that right now.
That's fine. Totally fair.
So I think that's all we need for this part. Now we want to actually create a little interface for us to do direct messaging in. So let me grab my water really quick.
Nice.
Mouth is getting. I always forget how dry it gets when you're like talking. All right. So now we want to have that section that we're talking about. So where you see the direct messages, where you interact with the person. Let's add a UI panel. So I'm going to add the UI, just build like a little skeleton first, and then we'll write the code and fill that in.
Yes.
So panel is basically just an image. Yeah, straight up just an image. So you can see it just like filled the whole screen. I think I want to have it be a lot smaller than this and like attached to the bottom. Unity's UI system is really interesting. If you haven't worked with it, it's like not super intuitive, but once you get used to it, it's got like pivots and anchors, and where you set things and how you set them is like, it's very tough to get things like really nicely, easily, what do you call it? Reactive to like screen sizes and stuff. But that was something that we did as part of the sample, is made it just like super nice and easy to like, based on that. That's not what I want to show this. So if you change like the aspect ratio, it handles that pretty well. But doing that in Unity isn't the easiest, unfortunately. So part of this is hoping that we can make it easy for people and they don't have to worry about that.
It takes me back to writing Java like applets and applications with grid bag layouts and whatnot. That was always a nightmare.
Yeah, I bet. Cool. Let's make a little DM section on the bottom here.
Got it. Okay, so like you click the button and a little DM thing is going to pop up or show.
Yeah.
Nice.
And right now I've got it attached to the friends list UI. We don't want that. So I'm just going to create a DM zone. Okay, so it's its own canvas right now. Unity, you can technically throw these all on the same canvas. For like nice composability, I've put them all on separate canvases, but UI objects have to be in a canvas. It's kind of nice actually to separate them in Unity, because the way the UI system works there is if something changes in a canvas, I think it has to redraw the whole thing or everything up to that object that's changing. And so if you have a lot of things that are changing very frequently, or maybe a huge set of UI that doesn't change and one that does, separating them into separate canvases is really nice. Yeah, so
the canvas is kind of like a renderer container, as it were, for UI elements.
Yep, cool. Exactly. All right, we've got a little DM section here. And let's see, we want to add like a text input section to it. So UI, I believe that's input field. We also want, let me put that in the panel. We also want I think at the top I want to show who you're DMing, so their name and their profile. So I'm actually going to go into this other prefab and steal those out of it.
I was going to say, can you like reuse the friend UI or something and just check it?
Yeah.
Sort of.
We could, yeah. I do, because I don't want to show status or anything else. I just want to show the status, and all that other information is already in the friends list. So I'm just going to steal their avatar image, which requires the circle mask around it, and their name text. Okay, so one more thing too, actually, we want to have like a section to write the text of the DMs in. So we're going to go over here to.
Do you need like a submit button or anything as well?
So yes.
Or are you just going to do an enter? It's
just going to be an enter.
Okay, that's fine.
So there's one of the nice things about Unity UI is they have all of these like nice what do you call these like things
events?
that you can hook into, events that you can hook into. Yeah, I'm forgetting like callback event. All my like naming is out the window right now, but events that you can hook into. One of them is on and edit for an input field. The nice thing is that triggers when you press enter. The not nice thing is it also triggers when you click out of it or when you hit escape, or like there's a bunch of other times that it triggers. There isn't a nice, so in an ideal world, we would probably go in and we would create like an enter button or something, you know, a nicer chat interface. For our cases here, I think having just pressing enter is going to be fine.
I think so.
But good call out. So let's actually take a look. We want this, I'm going to put this at the bottom of this panel. And we're going to make it take up the whole width of it. So let's make it a little bigger. And let's put the mask and, sorry, the avatar, or the profile and the text at the top left of this panel. Let's give it a little padding. And then I'm actually going to put this guy. Normally you would like, you know, kind of tune these nicely. I'm just going to like throw it in here and move it over like this. This is like kind of hard coding.
I was going to say, you could attach it to the top left with appropriate padding and it would probably work just fine, but we don't have to worry about that. That would work, right?
Actually,
that's literally what you've done. That's what you've done. Okay, got it. Okay, cool.
But I wasn't like, because you could like anchor it like a little bit nicer to like the avatar, or you create another sub panel or something if you wanted.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I just kind of like, I don't know if it's even aligned, and yeah.
It's fine.
And then here's where we're just going to put all the text. So one thing we could also do is if we wanted to have like a nice scrolling section that has all of your DMs with this person in there, you could do that. I'm just going to put one text section that we're just going to like shove the messages into and concatenate for now. So we'll just put this in the center, make it a little bit bigger.
Got it. Beautiful.
And we'll use that font we were talking about.
Nice.
Make it, let's see, a little bit bigger.
This is reasonable. Nice.
Okay, so we have this area set up. We want to create a script now that handles direct messaging. Let's see, where's my scripts folder?
Direct messaging.
And we're going to put this in the DM zone. So we'll put this up here. Oops, yeah, I'll just add it this way. And what do we need for direct messaging? So I think what I want to do is hide this section until we actually click on a direct message. When we do click on it, we also want to update the user's profile picture and their name and clear out any text. So if you have a direct message with somebody else and you're like clicking on somebody else's thing, we want to clear that out. So let's start off with what happens when you open a direct message. Let's see. Click, open, direct message. And I believe we're passing in, if we look at this open DM, we've got access to the relationship handle. So relationship handle, direct message, cool. So we're going to also need references to the profile image. We're going to need a reference to the profile name in the UI itself. So text mesh pro. I just forget what this thing is called.
So out of curiosity, then, like, you don't just go grab the user handle. You're like, this is, and then just populate from there, or you're kind of pushing it down.
Yeah, so I'm sending the information out this way.
Okay.
We could, another thing we could do is, because the friends list has that like dictionary, we could, if we wanted to, go back to that and use that as a source of truth. But because the UI, the like friend UI itself already has that relationship handle information, I think it makes sense to just like pass it over as like
individual items.
Yeah, like we could do individual items. I think the relationship handle is great here because we have like
relationship. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I see. You've passed in the relationship handle to Open Direct Message. Open Direct Message is going to populate these properties. Is that what that's what I'm hearing?
Exactly. Yeah.
Got it. All right. Cool. I'm on page. Got it. All right. Fantastic. Got it. Cool.
Like, I'm going to do one little cheaty steal though. I have this coroutine that loads somebody's avatar from a URL. This could be centralized as some like static code that we could reference somewhere.
It's fine.
I'm gonna copy it right now.
If you copy and paste something more than twice centralized, but if it's twice, I think it's totally reasonable.
That's exactly how I feel.
Yep.
And we also need to steal collections with these three things. Cool. So I think this is just going to get it. The username's text is going to come from the relationship handle's display name.
Yep.
And then we're going to start the coroutine because there's like, web loading here. We want to kind of do that in the background. We're going to load the avatar. Yeah, exactly like this. So I'm forcing it to be a PNG. I don't think a image, like a UI image in Unity handles GIF. If I remember correctly, there might be other ways to do that, but just in case they're icons of GIF, we're going to force it to be a PNG, which I believe just takes the first frame of it.
Got it. Now, if I remember my Unity vaguely, starting a coroutine is basically like making something async, so it should happen. So it like the function can complete while this thing is happening in the background, essentially.
Sort of, yeah, because it's not in the background. So Unity is single-threaded.
Right.
You can do like multi-threaded stuff, but like
it's concurrent but not parallel, or parallel but not concurrent. I never remember which way around that goes.
I think the way it works is there's some order where it runs through like update functions, and I see Colin says I call it GIF. Yes, sorry. Hopefully, please don't fire me. But yeah, coroutines are like, I think of them as threads, but they really aren't actually like multi-threaded threads. It is just a separate part of code that's running concurrently on the same game object.
Got it.
You can start them, you can stop them at any point. You can like yield in them, you can kick stuff off, but all the good coroutine goodness. So let's see. So I'm going to do another thing here that I don't normally do. Normally you would want to have some reference. So let's go back to the profile itself, the user's UI. We click the direct message. Somehow we need to tell the direct message UI that we just built, hey, we're opening a direct message with this user.
Mm-hmm.
In Unity, you don't generally want to do this thing called like find object of type, because what it does is it looks through your whole scene for that object, gives you that first object. So if you have a huge scene and you're doing this, like, you really don't want to do it if you're like in an update loop or something. A one-off is fine. Normally what I would do is have some sort of like messaging system where everything's decoupled, and I would say, hey, we are opening a message with this relationship handle, and anything that cares about that would grab that event.
Yep.
And react to it. But we're not doing that here. So find first object of type, direct message.
Thing you said not to do.
This is so good. It just knew exactly what I wanted.
Nice.
Open the direct message, pass the friend UI relationship handle.
Cool.
And I believe if we go back to Unity now, where is my... So we need to hook some stuff up first. So you remember we have the profile image we need to hook up and the name text here. And I believe now if we run this, the DM window is going to be there. We can hide that in a little bit just to make it nice. But now, if I click this, it loads who I'm talking to.
Nice.
Cool.
And where it says new text is where the message will eventually go.
Exactly.
Yes.
So yeah, let's start off with sending a message. So this should actually be pretty quick.
Yeah, the command of this is pretty straightforward.
Yeah. When do we want to do it? So we need a function that's going to be public that we're going to hook the UI up to. So send DM. Okay. Now I need to actually go and look at the reference for this. Docs for this are fantastic, by the way. Colin and Mark have put these together and kept them updated. I use it frequently. I believe this is all we need to do. So
that is all we need to do. Now, actually, an interesting question for you, since we're sitting here, is like all the samples are written in C++. I'm sorry, I know you're doing Unity. Yep. How do you mentally translate that into just Unity headspace? Yeah.
So there's a couple ways you can do it. One, I mean, everything's named exactly the same.
Yep.
One thing that's different is the uint64 gets converted to a U long, I believe, in Unity or C# land.
Yeah.
But for the most part, like everything's named exactly the same, and I just kind of, we're not using a pointer; we're just directly doing a dot. So I'm kind of just in my head knowing that. We can also, if I remember correctly, if we go into the packages here, you can open this Discord CS, and you actually have access to
But you can click through and see what is in there.
Yeah. So if I search for send user message in here, this callback is going to come in handy later because we're going to create a callback. But where is it?
Here, there. Yeah.
Somewhere in here. Send user message. And here you can see exactly what you need. So the recipient's ID, and then the string that you're sending them, and then a callback. And I believe this tells you whether or not it succeeded.
Got it. Good to know.
Cool. Okay. So where were we?
Sending a DM.
Sending a DM. Okay. Two things here. We need the client. So client. This is the Discord client. And Unity has these functions. Start is like the first, I don't want to dive too deep into it, but basically when this object first starts up. And we actually get this directly from the Discord manager instance. So I think I said it was a singleton. As long as Discord manager is in the scene, we can get an instance of it. If it's not in the scene, it'll give you a nice error. We'll get the clients. And then in here, we're going to do client.send direct message. Send direct message, send user message. It's hallucinating some actual functions.
It's close.
One more thing we also needed to do is hold on to the current person we're talking to. So we'll do current relationship handle. So the way this works, anytime we've clicked that direct message button, we'll repopulate this with whoever we're talking to. So now we'll do current relationship handle dot is it ID?
Yes, I'm pretty sure that's right.
User ID. Yeah, I believe that's
business ID. I'm pretty sure that's right. There you go.
And there's a message. Oops. Sometimes I actually hate when it fills a bunch of stuff in for me. So now we just need the callback. Usually I like to write out the actual callback itself, but send user message callback.
You mean like not do it in line?
Yeah, like I'll create another function for it and then actually pass that function in.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I don't know why. I feel like it's just nicer to have in case you need to like use it for something else.
Yeah, it's something. Yeah, choices were made.
So we need to look at what the send user message callback takes.
Yeah. And so for people who aren't that familiar with the social SDK, like almost everything through the social SDK has some sort of callback on completion. So like when it does a thing, you're like, how do I know whether it was successful or not? You get this callback, and most of the time they have a client result. And the client result will tell you, hey, I did this well, or I did this badly, or something went wrong. So you know when it actually finished. It also means it does it asynchronously.
I'm in this case just going to trust that this works. You can, because you get the result. You can check to see if your message was successfully sent and all that. But I'm just going to
live it on the edge.
And one more thing, I'm going to add this. We have that text field. Let's see, chat. We're going to create like a very rough version of chat. So we're going to send the message, and we're also going to just append it into that chat itself. So,
oof, that is rough.
I think there's probably an easy way to get your relationship handle or your user ID or your username. That's something you'd probably want to do here. For the interest of time, though, we're just going to say this is from me, and the message itself.
Yep.
But we'll probably put the actual like other person's DMs as they come back. Okay, so let's see here. Another thing we want to do when we open a direct message, let's just clear out what was in that chat before.
If you have the client, you can call get current user, which will give you your own user handle. Just say you don't have to though. Just giving it.
Yeah, let's just do that then. So current.
Assume it's the same. Get two C's. Get current. There you go. Get current user.
Oh,
there you go.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Even
See,
nicer.
I'm useful.
Learning things every day. Okay, let's go make sure things are hooked up, and we should be able to see this work.
Ooh.
And not only should we be able to see it work, we should actually see the DMs come through. So let's see. Our text here, we'll put in here. So there's the chat.
You gotta hook it up.
And then we want to, on end edits, get the direct message, send DM. So it actually knows this event itself sends a string. And so if you give it something that takes a string, a function that takes a string, it just hooks that up for you.
Yes.
So let's see. Let's try it actually. Connect. And let's open this up. Let's see, who's Malo? Is Malo you? Oh, it's Colin. Colin, did you get a DM? Nice. All right, cool. Thank you for being here. In 3 minutes, we will be chatting, I believe, through here. Cool. Okay, so messages are sent. And I noticed there's two things. One, we would want to clear this out when that message is sent. So let's do that really quick. We can actually do it really easily, kind of cheaty through here. Basically what I'm going to do on end edit, first send the DM, next.
Oh, it's got a function on it already.
Yeah. Actually, I don't think there's a function specifically on it, but what we can do is set. So here's the text itself, the string. Oops. Maybe it's not that. Where is it? String text. There we go. And we'll just leave this empty. So it's just going to set it. Cheaty. I wouldn't do this in production code. I might actually do it, but
gets jumped in.
Yeah. The other thing I want to do is let's hide this DM section on start. So we only want to show it when you have a DM open. So on start DM zone dot active. Oh wow, I can't believe it like is kind of already reading my mind. We're just going to set this thing to not active. Where'd it go?
There we go.
Bad naming, actually. This should just be the panel, but and then we want to do the reverse. So when we start a message, let's set this to active. Cool. That makes it nice. The last thing we want to do is be able to receive messages. And the way that's going to work is, this is going to take actually a few minutes. So there's another thing specifically, I guess, about Unity and the way that we have this set up and Social SDK. Social SDK callbacks, which you can see here. So client.set status change callback, set relationship group updated callback, only allow you to attach one function to them. They're not like a event system that you would expect in like C++, C#. It's specifically you give it one function that is hooked up to that callback, which just means that if we want to be able to hook multiple things up to that, we need to fire off an event when those things happen. So one thing the Discord manager does for you is basically that. So I've got actual C# events that when these SDK events come through or these callbacks come through, we fire off those C# events, and then anything subscribes to the Discord manager that cares about those can react to them.
Nice.
So status change is a big one. I think everything cares about when the client is ready. So we don't want to do anything with the friends list until it's ready. We don't want to update rich presence, although we could until the client is ready. And that's sort of why we've got this like little sort of pass through in the Discord manager. The last thing we're going to do.
I was going to say, what about receiving messages?
It's receiving messages. So let's figure out what is the. Moving around. Do you remember the callback for
that? Receiving and rendering messages. Set message created callback. You're in the same place at the same time. There we go.
And that message created callback.
I guess you already have one.
Message created. And so we're going to need to create this. Let's see, where is relationship created? On message created. And I believe, what do you get? The message ID. We're going to get a message handle from this. So this is going to be message ID. And from here, I think it's going to want me to create the delegate in that event really quick. So message created, handler, cool. And message created, cool. And then down here, if that's not null, we're going to invoke it.
Okay.
And so the way this is going to work is now we're going to get the Discord manager singleton, subscribe a function to this event from the direct messaging, and we should get messaging.
Out of curiosity, is there a reason you were sending the ID around rather than like just at that time grabbing, say, like a message handle or user handle and sending that around instead?
You could totally do that.
Okay, just a choice.
I think right now, because this is a sample and I want people to use it, I'm basically just sending as much information, like what you get. Because if I start paring that down and just give you like the string itself, you may want to get more information, right?
Yeah. No, I could see you handing off like the message handle rather than message ID, for example, as a thing, as part of the event. But I don't know. Anyway, just different choices.
Totally, actually. And I think actually in my own, like if I was working on a game, I would probably be very specific about what it is I wanted to get out of it, just to make it like easier. Do the like nasty, like, let me get down to whatever works somewhere else and then pass off exactly what I need to the thing that needs it.
Cool. Just wonder.
Yeah, you could do it either way. Okay, cool. So now we do client dot. Actually, what? I'm blanking really quick. I think. So Discord manager instance, and then we're gonna, there we go. Not the client.
Not the client. That makes more sense.
Yes. On message created. Cool. And now we need to create an on message created. We'll go right over here.
Sad it doesn't generate those functions for you. It mostly does.
Mostly does. It's crazy. Cool. Okay, we can get rid of this. So we have the ID. The message content is going to be, I believe you do client.get message handle.
That's better.
Message ID dot
content.
Get content. Content of this message. Yeah, I think that's right. And then we are going to actually do exactly that. So chat text, add a new line, message ID. Oh, yeah, this is exactly what we wanted. So get the author of the message, get their display name, and put the content in here. I think that's everything we need for this.
Part of me wants you to take that message handle and stick it in a variable before running it twice, but it's fine. I actually think behind the scenes it's stored in memory anyway, so it doesn't actually make a difference. I'm fairly sure.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't think it goes back and regrabs it, so I don't think there's any huge overhead.
That would be.
But I'm nitpicking. I'm just nitpicking.
Oh no. I would totally do that in actual production code.
Yeah, I'm just nitpicking.
All right, let's see if this works. Okay, so it's not there anymore.
All right, so let it connect.
We will authorize. Back. Boom. And now, open direct message.
All right, let's see if Cohen's. Here we go.
Oops.
Oh, the message is back. There we go. Oh yeah.
So there's a bug. It's I think something
you're
about
you're pasting it twice.
Something about the like that event that I'm using on the text box itself is probably double sending. So yeah, not like ideal.
That's fine.
I also, another thing, like there's a lot of things you could do here, right? Like if I move to chat with somebody else, it's going to clear everything. And if I come back, I'm not saving those things. And that's information you can get. You can totally get, I think, history, DM history, I believe.
You can get lobby history right now. You can't get DM history, but.
Okay. You can get lobby history, but you can, if we had all those messages, right? I could store it and then, you know, I could store that within the like friend UI or somewhere attached to that person. So when you open it back up, you get it back. Yeah, I think, let me check. I believe that runs through everything I wanted to get through.
That's pretty great.
So at some point we'll have a DM system built into this, very similar to this, where you can open up a DM. This will be all a lot nicer, where you actually have like some persistence of chat. The text box won't be janky. It'll be skinned a little better. You'll actually maybe have like people's avatars, so it'll feel and look a little bit more Discord.
It's the prettiest thing I've ever seen, Anthony. I think you did an excellent job.
Yeah, thank you. But that's what's coming with the sample. So here's where it is now. We've got rich presence. We've got friends list. Coming soon is going to be things like DM and lobbies, invites, things that you would put in your game, and hopefully in a way that you would actually put them into your game, just to make it easy. So yeah, the sample exists out there. Feel free to grab it, download it, use it, integrate that in your games, use it as a starting point for your games.
Do you want PRs or issues if people find issues or want to contribute something back or make a tweak?
Absolutely, all of the above. I believe we've got discussions enabled. We've got, you can open PRs if you. I think all of that should be available in the repo right now. Also, repos open and available. I see Jamika put it in chat. And I think that kind of wraps up everything we wanted to hit. Yeah, let's go back over here to our little 5-slide slideshow. Basically, yeah, that's it. Thank you all for coming.